Hello, we are back, department. I would like to file a claim. It has been a while, my friends. We got a little busy. Finals week got hectic at Penn State. I went to Cleveland, Ohio. Still not sure exactly what the point of me being there was because the project we're working on at this point has taken like 50 different avenues, so I couldn't even tell you why I was there. But it was fun, and now we're back here. Christmas is coming up, and yeah. Welcome to season 4, episode 16 of the Weekly Gridiron podcast. As always, we are your hosts, Adam.
Dante.
And Luke, I'm here to wish you a very Drake Merry Christmas.
Mhm.
I just had to get that one out of my system. If you're watching, not listening, you'll see the background today for me is Christmas tree with Drake May all over it because all I want for Christmas is Drake May. So that's what it
Yeah,
is today.
and we are recording on December 23rd, so by the time you see this, it is a Christmas present from WG, so Merry Christmas to everybody. No fantasy leaders slide this week, so I'm just going to quickly run through the leaders before we get into week 17's fun. Quarterbacks, we had Trevor Lawrence taking the top spot this week, 31.16 fantasy points, followed by Brock Purdy, 30.9, and Matthew Stafford, 30.88, coming in at the number 3 spot. Running backs were led by Chase Brown with 32.9, followed by Christian McCaffrey, 32.6. And hey, this guy runs like a beast. If you know, you know. Ashton Genty, 31.8 fantasy points. On to the wide receivers. Puka Nacua, this week's leader, 46.5 fantasy points. Then Chris Olave with 36.8, and Parker Washington, Penn State legend, 26.5. On to the tight ends to wrap it out. George Kittle with 24.5, Harold Fannin Jr., the stud Browns rookie, with 19.5, and Kyle Pitts, who might just be breaking out before our very eyes, with 18.7. In terms of appearances on the year, sixth for CMC, fourth for Puka Nacua, third for Matthew Stafford, George Kittle, and Kyle Pitts, second for Harold Fannin Jr. and Ashton Genty, first for everyone else. So that is fantasy. I hope my advice has paid off this year because we are reaching like fantasy championship territory. So if you still need guys, I don't know what you're doing at this point, but listen to this and hopefully I can help you out. So,
Let's go.
and now we're on to the week 17 slate, starting out with one of 3 Thursday games this Christmas slate. And I will just start by saying before the season, man, on paper, these games look fantastic, but now I don't know. Injuries have taken their toll, and it's not as good, but still exciting nonetheless to have not one, not two, but 3 football games to watch on Christmas. And we are starting things out with an NFC East divisional matchup with the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. Of course, the Commanders are down horrendous at the quarterback position right now, and it's looking like it'll be Josh Johnson starting against Dak Prescott in this game. So,
Dude, he's like the Irvin Santana of the NFL. That dude's on every team. It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah, like the Ish Smith of the NFL, if you know the NBA reference.
Ish
That
Smith.
dude has probably played for half the teams in the NBA at this point. But yeah, I guess I'll start by saying simply, I don't really have much elaboration for this one, nor do I for the rest of the Christmas games. But yeah, Dallas is going to get a win here. Even though they're eliminated from playoff contention now, this should be an easy one for the Cowboys to win. So
Yeah, agreed. Two teams eliminated from playoff contention. But the Cowboys are going to win this one. Expect a big game from GP, George Pickens.
I would have to agree with both of you. It'll be interesting for me. One thing that comes to mind will be to look up how close to some bonuses some of these guys are. I think that they now officially have that being the Cowboys a 4,000 yard passer and 2,000 yard receivers. So, and I know George Pickens wants to get paid. If for no other reason, the QB situation for the Commanders, give me Dallas pretty easy.
Mhm.
and on to our second Christmas game, which all 3 are divisional battles, by the way. I just caught on to that. But we have the Lions and the Vikings. Detroit, yeah, coming off a very interesting game, which Dante, of course, will get into a lot more later on. Um, Playing the Vikings for the second time this year, already lost to Minnesota once, but that was when JJ McCarthy was out there. He is out this week, meaning Max Brosmer is making his second career start, hopefully a lot better than what the first one was. Against Detroit, the Lions may be struggling right now, but Jared Goff is doing his thing, and I think the defense should have no problem this week. I will take Detroit to rebound and get a much needed win to try their best and help their playoff chances at this point.
Yeah, looking bleak for Detroit playoff wise. Tough loss to the Steelers. Um, Jared Goff did look good though, and I think he's going to continue to look good. This Detroit defense is beat up, however, but I don't think they have anything to worry about playing Max Brosmer with JJ McCarthy's hairline fracture on his hand. Um, could see Jettas get some action. He might be the only real target Max Brosmer has. That's actually gonna, get open and do something because it seems like whoever Justin Jefferson plays for, he's putting up numbers. But yeah, I'll go with the Lions in this one.
Yeah, Max Brosmer, he whatever, however you say his name, Max Brosmer, he couldn't motivate a Subway employee to warm up a cookie. So I have no worries for Detroit in this one. Even if the playoff even if the playoff outlook is looking bleak for Detroit, I the last thing I would expect I gotta pull out one very creative
That was so
analogy
funny.
analogy every single episode.
He may or
Um,
may Luke, he may or may not be able to tell you whether the cookie is good or not, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, um, one thing that I don't think we would ever have to worry about is a Dan Campbell team not putting their all out on the field every single week. So playoff outlook looking bleak or not, I think they're going to bring the best because they're not dead and they're not going to be dead at the time of this kickoff because they play before the Packers do. So they're going to give it their all, and I think that the Lions should still come away with a pretty easy victory.
Yep.
okay. Final Christmas game takes us out to Arrowhead Stadium, which it was just announced this week, yesterday to be exact, that the Chiefs are moving from Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas, and building a new domed stadium out there. That is not until 2031, of course, but an interesting headline nonetheless. But we got the Broncos and Chiefs to wrap out the Christmas slate. Of course, Patrick Mahomes now, unfortunately, torn ACL, done for the year. I believe Gardner Minshew did not tear his ACL, but is going to miss some time. So, as far as I'm concerned, it is the great Steelers legend Chris Oladokun in this game against Denver. And as much as I will enjoy watching him, there is no doubt in my mind that the Broncos will win this one and rebound from last week when they lost to Jacksonville pretty handily. So, yeah, Denver needs an excuse to rebound. They want to take out their anger on somebody, enter the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 6-9 and eliminated from playoff contention. So, yeah, Denver pretty easily here.
Yeah, Denver for sure. It's really a race between them and New England for the number one seed, which it feels like 2015 again. I kind of love it. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I like Bo Nix, and this defense is playing pretty well. Um, and the Chiefs eliminated from playoff contention. Very sick. Whole AFC is wide open. Are the Patriots going to be back? Are the Broncos going to be back? We shall see. But yeah, give me the Broncos here rather easily to sweep the Chiefs for the first time in how long? A very long time.
Long time,
Very long
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
probably since before that hermit looking guy got in the league. Um,
Yeah.
if it's my turn, then we are throwing around the term legend very loosely, guys. If we're talking about Chris Aldogan here, uh, everybody loves that guy, but he's not going to
Two-time
win for
Super
them.
Bowl champ.
Maybe that's why they're starting him, but that it's not going to make a difference this week. Um, Denver, they finally took a beating against Jacksonville. I knew something like that was coming for them. Patriots had to take their loss. They had to take theirs as well. But this should be pretty. I mean, the Chiefs just got two scored by the Titans, which Adam called, which I just couldn't even see as a like I didn't think the physics worked in the math equation there, but they did. So I wouldn't pick the Chiefs against anybody. It's been a rough week, been a rough 2 weeks. Mahomes torn ACL, backup Gardner Minshew torn ACL. Who everybody loves Gardner Minshew. They're leaving the city. They're going to build a dome. They're tearing down Arrowhead, which I'm not one of the kind of anti-dome kind of fans, but I don't. Arrowhead is one of those venues that you just I get
It's
the whole politics of Kansas City, Kansas, Missouri, whatever, but Arrowhead is just one of the great football venues. It's a shame to see that happen.
yeah, dude. Arrowhead is one of the cornerstone stadiums in the NFL. Like it's Lambeau, it's Acrisure, it's Arrowhead, it's Soldier Field. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
those are the fields that, and it sucks that they're. I'm sure I'm missing some, but yeah, it's really a bummer. You could throw Lumen
Bank
Field
of
in there in
America
Seattle.
Stadium for sure.
You could.
B of A.
I think Gillette Stadium could be on that list, but maybe
Yes,
like
absolutely. Gillette's
yeah,
hosted so many playoff games. I would definitely put them.
yeah, that's a good point. So is Arrowhead, but
Hmm.
I'm not gonna be hosting any this year, so give me the Broncos.
All right, we finally have a game worth talking about here. The first of two Saturday games this week. This one at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Shall we
We have
say for the right to play the Steelers in the first round?
potentially, potentially for
Hmm.
sure. But we have the Texans and the Chargers, two teams that have looked really, really good the last month or two. The Texans, everybody thought they were kind of down and out. They came back up. The Chargers maybe thought the same, and they've haven't looked back. And now this is a very important game for both teams. Of course, this is a playoff rematch. These two matched up in the wild card round last year. And like Luke said, implications on the line. You're looking to get that top wild card seed and maybe avoid playing in places like Jacksonville or New England with the way the Jaguars have played this year.
Mile High, yeah,
Nothing against the
somewhere else.
Steelers, but um, they might rather play Pittsburgh in the first round. You never know. But yeah, high stakes on the line for this one. Stroud against Herbert is always fun to watch. I'll let one of you guys start because I have started the last three games when it comes to picking the winner. So I'll let someone else go first.
I'll go, and I'll go with the Chargers. Um, I Houston's defense is really tough, but in SoFi, I think even though there isn't really much of a home field advantage at SoFi Stadium, it may be a lot of Houston fans. I will go with the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is simply the better quarterback compared to CJ Stroud, and I know that really, you know, contradicts what I said earlier in the year and earlier episodes of this podcast of me hating Justin Herbert. I don't hate Justin Herbert. I just don't think he's a top five quarterback. Maybe he is this year. He's pretty good. Um, but yeah, I'll go with the Chargers.
To
Luke?
clear your conscience, and I will go to clear your conscience. You could take Josh Allen, Drake May, Dak, Sam Darnold, and Matt Stafford. So no, Herbert's not top five.
I might take
Um,
Herbert over Darnold, to be honest.
if you're starting a franchise, yeah, but I don't think you can give it to him this year. And what I will say, and I'll make this interesting, is that I'm going to double down on that kind of a take, and I'm going to take Houston on their defense.
Nice.
I will say that I do sort of agree with your idea of home field advantage, despite what the crowd is going to end up being, because there are factors to that you weren't mentioning. Like you're in your own facilities the entire week. You're playing in your home or you're coming from a hotel.
Mhm.
Visiting locker room, home locker room, all that stuff. But I don't think it'll be enough. I think this is a very even matchup. It's going to be a good game. Coaching as well, I think is pretty even here. D'Amico Ryan's Harbaugh, I think they're about on the same level. Um, but I just like this defense, and I like the fact that the Texans they have won games this year that it feels like they shouldn't have won. I think earlier in the year they got off to a slow start, and everybody just kind of assumed that would be the new Houston Texans. They'd be like a 9 or 10 win team, but they've been consistently better than I think a lot of people have been giving them credit for. I said the Chargers sometimes, but we've seen the Chargers a couple times this year, and certainly in the past to lose some games where it seems like it should be an even matchup, and they come out and they don't get it done for whatever reason. So I like the Texans here.
Okay. You've put me on the spot here. I will just start by saying, to piggyback off Dante's point, as we say best,
Love that
this
term.
summer our family visited California for a vacation, and we checked out SoFi Stadium, the outside of it, and the gift shop inside. And we walked in. I saw a bunch of Ram stuff, obviously. I saw a FIFA t-shirt, like the
World
FIFA
Cup,
World
yeah.
Cup. And it took until the third thing for me to remember, oh yeah, the Chargers play here. So I do not blame Dante for saying that they don't have a lot of fans there because I literally forgot the Chargers play in that stadium. So
Yeah.
um that being said, I am also going to double down on Houston. For some reason, like them a little more in this matchup. I like the Texans defense here. Stroud has been playing some good football. No hate to Herbert, of course. He's been playing some great football as well. But I like the Texans a little more in this matchup, and I think this will feel a little more like a home game for them. Not that that matters here, but yeah, gut feeling is I like Houston a little bit more, but I could definitely see the Chargers winning. So I'll take Houston. And on to our last Saturday game, 8 p.m. We have the Ravens and the Packers in Lambeau Field. This one is interesting. Lamar Jackson did not practice today. It's looking like he could possibly miss the game on Saturday, which would mean Tyler Huntley is thrust into the starting role. He is 1-0 as a starter this year. He did beat the Bears earlier on in the year. And then you have the Packers, who I don't really know what their situation with the quarterbacks are. Jordan Love got hurt. Malik Willis came in, got hurt, stayed in anyway, but is banged up this week. Not even sure who their QB3 is, to be honest. I know Sean Clifford was there at one point and they let him go, and I bet they wish they had him right now. But yeah, this is a game on the schedule that I am definitely torn on. Would somebody else like to start? Go for it.
I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers to win this game, and I truly think even with Lamar in the game and with Malik Willis starting, the Packers really could have a chance. But going off, if it's a backup quarterback battle between Malik and Tyler Huntley, I still like Green Bay to win it. Yeah, I just and Lambeau Field in prime time. I like the Packers just to I don't know. The Ravens really, they blew that what was it, Luke? A double digit fourth quarter lead to lose to the Pats.
It's not coming to the top of my head, but yeah, we had to battle back for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just truly don't understand whenever it comes to the Ravens why Derrick Henry does not have a carry in the final 13 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it baffled me.
It's really
No good
insane.
explanation for that. He was tearing us. Thank you for mentioning that, and I'm not going to steal your spotlight,
No.
but there no good explanation for that whatsoever. He was tearing us apart, and we won because we won the game. We
Yes.
did we played the better football game in the last 15 minutes, but I there is no explanation for that. So yeah, bad.
Especially with Lamar Jackson out.
Yeah,
What are you thinking?
I don't
Like
know.
that logic doesn't connect with me. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers, and if the Packers win this game, I'll talk about the Steelers in a minute. The Steelers will be AFC North champs, so I'm hoping this would happen so I could watch stress-free football for the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay.
You're gonna have to hope so because you're also gonna be watching DK Metcalf free football for the next 2 weeks.
That's
That
another reason
suspension,
why I want to
the
lock him
suspension
down.
held up, which is I think a 1 game suspension would have been plenty.
Yeah.
But it's neither here nor there now. Um,
Yeah.
gosh, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna take the spot here, Adam. Let's
Go
not
for it.
forget that we were one onside kick away from the Packers winning that game, and the
Yes.
narrative being, man, this is a legit contender who can survive tough games.
Yes.
We're one onside kick away from them winning that game. And let me give you a take. Listen very carefully. Malik Willis at his best is like can go play for play with uh, Lamar Jackson at his banged up, doesn't want to be there, not a fan of John Harbaugh, worst.
I at
And
home. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Even
and
more so.
especially if it's Tyler Huntley, I love the Packers here.
Yes.
I really think that it is certainly not impossible for the Ravens to lose out and for us to get a Ravens and Harbaugh, you know, amicable split or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
And
I'm starting to read between the lines of that. Ravens fans want it. I think I'm
mhm.
starting to think Lamar wants it. Derek Henry's got to be wanting it after that last game
Mhm.
because that was their game to win, and they didn't. And so when they lose like that, I know how the Packers lost, but was not also that game where the 64-yard field goal doinked off the front iron? And was that the Packers? I might be no, was that the 49ers? That was the last night's game. That was never mind. But what I'm trying to get to, the heart of that is that the Packers very well could have won that game. The Bears, they put off a miracle,
Mhm.
but the Ravens should have won that game,
Mhm.
and they did everything they could do to lose it. So in an even matchup here, backups versus backups, or even backups versus Lamar in Lambeau, I am all over the Packers here.
And truly, what it's looking like it could be is Jordan Love versus backup.
Yeah, if I mean I didn't even mention that because I'm picking backup versus Lamar and I'm picking backup to win. But if that's the case, then just send
Yeah.
this one to the bank. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And another
So
thing, another thing. Sorry, Adam, to cut
you're
you
fine.
off.
You're fine.
Um, it's not like the Packers aren't playing for something here too. Like they need
Yeah,
to win this game.
they're they're not clinched.
Yeah.
They need to win, they need to keep winning these games.
Yes,
Thank you for
absolutely.
bringing that up. Yeah.
So what I was going to say is, by the way, you guys have convinced me to pick the Packers.
Mhm.
Um, to to jump off your points, I looked up on Twitter. I did a little Twitter research about Jordan Love and Malik Willis. Um, both were limited at practice today. Jordan Love is still in concussion protocol, I guess that's what the entry is. But a sleeper, it says sleeper Packers with the source said that I guess Malik Willis said if he needs to start this week, he will, which yeah, leads me to believe that he will. And yeah, even with Lamar Jackson, the Ravens just look incredibly shaky right now. Harbaugh looks like he does not know what he's doing on the sidelines. Like we said, benching Henry for the last 13 minutes of that game is just a crime. Like, what are you
Unbelievable.
thinking? But yeah, I will take Green Bay here. Both teams obviously have something to play for, but um, yeah, Green Bay I think is the better team, and they're at home, which is an added bonus for me. So I will take the Packers.
You know what I have decided the world needs? Because now they're practically eliminated and he's kind of useless there. The Colts need to cut Philip Rivers. The Vikings need to sign him. He needs to start on Thursday. Then the Vikings need to cut him, and he needs to fill in for Malik Willis, who's clearly not 100%. And then the Packers need to cut him. Then he needs to play for the Chiefs next week, who don't want to have to be playing Oladokin. And then they need to cut him so that when Quinn Ewers has a second bad game, the Dolphins don't have to worry about that. And then he can excuse me. And then he could ride off into the sunset, and his last play in the NFL won't be a 75-yard pick six.
That'd be
Assuming that
crazy.
doesn't happen again. I don't think that really works legally. He'd have like 70 fantasy points every week. But
Did Quinn Ewers start this past week?
am I wrong? Yeah.
He did.
And who did they play? And it got absolutely pummeled.
Cincinnati. It was a
Yeah.
close game until Cincinnati just broke away.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Speaking
right,
of the Dolphins,
on to the Sunday slate. Yeah, speaking of the Dolphins, I will start by saying Miami Dolphins fans, Fins Up Nation. I know we haven't always been on the best terms because I am not the biggest fan of Tua. I have spoken hate of Tyreek Hill plenty of times. Um, I have said Mike McDaniel's a very overrated head coach, but I would like to propose a friendship and an alliance for you to please, excuse my French, kick Tampa Bay's ass on Sunday because we we need. I just want to say, if Carolina beats Seattle and Miami beats Tampa, we are NFC South champions next week. So I need Miami to do some dirty work for us. Do I expect it to happen? Heck no. Tampa Bay is going to beat them. I am very confident in that. But I am definitely a Dolphins fan this week. Luke, I know you don't like hearing that, but
Well, no, I get it.
got to do what I got to do, you know?
Adam, my boy, the naughty list is calling your name, man. You gotta clean that mouth out with soap. Um, if I jump over Dante here,
yeah,
I want to make a point that we see here a matchup of the Bucks and defensive Mike McDaniel versus the Dolphins and offensive Todd Bowles. Pretty much is how I see it. Um, and give me defensive Mike Daniel and the Bucks. It's just about survival at this point. There's no way their season ends in a game like this. I just don't see it. Not against Quinn Ewers. No matter how slow that offense has been moving, no matter what the second half of the season and how differently that has looked, how that has gone for Baker and Ibuka. You give me the Bucks here. A bit of a Florida battle here. Um, I like the Bucks.
I like the Bucks too. It would be super embarrassing if they lost this
Yeah,
game to Quinn Ewers. Honestly, if Tua was playing this game, I could probably lean Miami, and I don't think that's too
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's not ridiculous at all. In fact I thought about it for a second, but it's just that would be really embarrassing
Hmm.
if that's the way their season ends.
I just expect Miami to just do what they've done all season and lean on Devon Achane.
Yeah,
Seems like he is their entire offense. Big fan of him. Love watching him play. He's a great player. Um,
yeah,
but the Bucks, if you lose this game, oh man, Carolina, get ready.
yeah.
That'd be awesome. I'm really rooting for Miami. That'd be so
I'm
sick.
praying.
That'd be cool.
All right, Luke, all you.
Huh, yeah.
Yes, man.
Another if they lose this game, Patriots and Jets. Who did the Jets just play and got flattened like a
Uh,
pancake?
The
Uh,
Saints.
yeah, the
Yeah, they got
Saints.
destroyed by the
Yeah.
Saints, which is
Sp-
crazy.
Okay. Tyler Shuck, that guy has some motion. He's got it all. He's starting to figure it out. But that's not what we're talking about here. Patriots, I won't spend too much time because I've taken enough victory laps this year. But what I will mention is I'm not concerned for this week. I'm not concerned for week 18. But we need to like just manage these games and get some health back. Trevor Henderson goes down. Our offensive line and defensive line have been decimated. Um, it's become a bit concerning. Ramondre Stevenson has done his part in the weeks where he's had shared touches, and last week without Trevon. And Mac Hollins has looked fantastic. Stephon Diggs had a giant game again, and the vibes are high. I really think that we needed the loss, which is what scares me about Denver, which because they probably needed a loss as well. I really think we needed the loss to Buffalo, and unfortunately for the Jets, they run into us now when we have opened the season poorly, won 10 in a row, got kicked in the butt, figured that out, gotten angry, rolled over a team that we shouldn't have beat in that on that day at least, and now we're just the best thing you can have going into January in the NFL is momentum and health. The second part's got to come, but the first part, the Jets and the Dolphins, you're on our way. So it'll be more about score than outcome. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, no brainer. Give me the Pats. Not really much to say here. As Luke said, and as it's held up over the years, two free wins for the Pats every year. So
Yeah, I do question if we sit in week 18. The Dolphins seem to have. Oh, you mean okay? You mean two free wins over the Jets?
yes,
I
yeah.
thought you meant our like our last two games.
Mm,
Well,
no,
I'll
no,
throw that
over.
out there that I think that there's a world where we lose the Dolphins week 18, but if that happens, it's because there'll be circumstances which will make me not care about that. But yes, the Jets, death taxes, and beating them twice. So
Yeah, I will not waste anyone's time here and say this is my absolute lock of the week. Give me the Pats. Should be an easy one here.
sweet.
All right, Dante, all you, my friend.
Oh man, where do I begin? I'll take us back to 3 weeks ago, whenever lost to the Buffalo Bills, 26-7. Um, stop. Um, that was probably the lowest moment I felt in a long time as a Steeler fan. That was booing Renegade, hearing Fire Mike Tomlin chants. That was absolutely insane. And I did we record that after that? I that
I
at home.
don't think we did.
I don't think so.
No, good. So you guys haven't seen me since then. That was a really dark time to be a Steeler fan. And then the next week, we beat the Baltimore Ravens. Looked really good. That was super sick. Week after that, beat the Miami Dolphins. Beat the brakes off the Miami Dolphins. Really, really wasn't close. And then, as we're recording this 2 days ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers shocked the world. Truly, I don't think anybody had us winning this game and beat the Detroit Lions and really dominated them for most of the game. Um, really insane. I'll start with our rushing attack. 240 yards on the ground. Jalen Warren, 145, two touchdowns, two two 45-yard house calls. Absolutely insane. He had a great game. Um, Kenneth Gainwell continues to be truly our best offensive weapon. What more can I say about Kenneth Gainwell? He is a breath of fresh air for this team. He brings versatility. He brings a veteran leadership. He knows what it takes to win, and Aaron Rodgers loves him. And he had the most highlight for catch of the year candidate. That was insane. Fell to the ground, caught it, got back up, scored with like 6 seconds left in the half to tie the game. That was incredible. Offensive line is playing outstanding. Dylan Cook, who stepping in and playing outstanding left tackle for us. Steelers had the highest ranked offensive line in week 16. When's the last time you heard that? Out, just incredible. DK punching a fan. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but what happened there? Um,
I don't think we'll ever. Actually, no.
Yeah. Um, yeah, man. Darnell Washington continues to be a stud, and I'll end my offensive talk with Aaron Rodgers, man. I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining the Steelers. I don't think any, I think people may have expected him to play better, but he's turning back the clock right now, and he is looking pretty solid as the Steelers QB1, and I'm very glad he is mine. Then to the defensive side of the ball. Oh my God. Held the Detroit Lions to 15 rushing yards in the game. Whenever you're going up against a top three running back in the league in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and you hold them to 15 yards, Alex Highsmith was an absolute stud this past game. You're missing TJ Watt, you're missing Nick Herbig. You needed a guy like him to step up, and he did. Jack Sawyer, big plays, big TFLs. The secondary played great. JPJ continues to take steps. Jalen Ramsey continues to be an enforcer. Kyle Duggar, what a pickup. He's been great. Patrick Queen stopping the run. Just everybody on this team is really stepping up at the right time. Um, though it did get close to the end, pretty controversial. I think the refs got it right. You could argue the first offensive pass interference call on Tesla, that was a pick play, got called OPI. If you look back earlier in the game, Darnell Washington got called the same penalty, which would have been a touchdown to DK Metcalf. So it really evens out. And then the second one, where it was the whole fake lateral to Jared Goff after Amon Ra caught it, that was such a clear OPI. And I'm tired of people blaming the refs. Was it a well officiated game? I don't think so. Um, but anyway, sorry for going on a whole spiel. Uh, I'm just so stoked that the Steelers won a huge game and are winning games late in the year, which is something we haven't done in a while. And we're looking like we're going to have momentum going into the playoffs if we win the division, which it's looking good, but you can never know for sure. Um, but anyway, on to this game. Steelers at Cleveland. We've struggled in Cleveland in recent years, but this team feels different. I trust Aaron Rodgers. I trust this team. It's going to be a dogfight. It's not going to be, no pun intended, but um, Cleveland defense is good. You have to prepare for it. If we win this game, we win the division. If it's not already taken care of by Green Bay, which we talked about, we think it will be. But if it's not, you need to win this game. Um, and I think the Steelers will win this game. I think they will. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I trust Aaron Rodgers a lot more than I trust Shador Sanders to take care of the football, and I'm sure you guys would agree with me there. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers to improve to 10-6 and beat the 9-8 allegations. I pray to God. Yeah, go Steelers.
Yeah, I'm really hoping the Steelers win, especially because you'll be there. That'll be really fun. WG's been going to Cleveland a lot this year. I will just say that.
Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah, we need to get you out there, Luke.
I'll
Uh,
pass.
yeah,
Good.
fair enough. I will obviously agree here and take the Steelers. I'm going to make a bonus prediction, even though it may not be that bold, and say this is the game Myles Garrett breaks the sack record. I think some added motivation on his side to break the shared record of TJ Watt and Michael Strahan, especially going up against TJ Watt's team, maybe even playing against TJ Watt in the game, might add some motivation for him. But yeah, the DK Metcalf loss may hurt a tiny bit for the rest of the year, but in a game like this, I don't think it's that big of a worry. I think the Steelers um, can ride with Warren and Gainwell, who have both been fantastic, and get the job done. I don't know which receiver is going to be the one to step up this game. Maybe we see a Ben Skowronek masterclass.
I
Uh,
hear Roman Wilson is going to be in the
Hopefully,
mix.
that'd
Yeah.
be fun. I expect to maybe see a big tight end game, whether that's Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith. They have a bunch of options, of course. So
Mhm.
expect Arthur Smith to get creative. But yeah, I've got the Steelers for sure.
Making a call. Final score: Steelers 19, Browns 13.
I
Steelers a
like it.
touchdown and four field goals. Browns a touchdown, two field goals, and a missed field goal.
Just the field
Just
goal.
just
Okay.
for extra, just to rub it in a little bit.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I like the Steelers here, but they have to show up to play. So
Mhm.
Adam's right about Myles Garrett, and And the Browns never want to lose to the Steelers, even if everything is on their side. We've seen it happen before. But well, you know who else does not want to lose is Aaron Rodgers. And you're right about everything you said, Dante, and the fact that the Steelers don't normally go on these little runs late into the year. They do the exact opposite, actually. And so I think this really is an Aaron Rodgers team. Probably more than it is even uh, a Mike Tomlin team, because
Totally agree.
you
Yes.
have the Mike Tomlin tendencies to lose these games, and I think Aaron Rodgers in that building is enough power of saying, I am not going to let you, Mike Tomlin, mess with my legacy and just be another chip on the block of these underperforming Steelers teams.
Hmm.
And they still have to win a game or two to not be 9-8. This is
Hmm.
still where we're at. But we've talked a little bit on and off screen about the fact that they could win a playoff game. It feels a little bit different, and I'm glad we haven't recorded in 3 weeks because I know weeks ago we were already on the struggle bus and we had those bad feelings and those bad
Hmm.
thoughts. But if they show up to play, Miles Garrett can break the sack, just like Adam will tell you when LeBron set the all-time NBA scoring record. Who won that game, Adam?
Oklahoma City.
So Miles Garrett can get his record, but if they show up to play, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the division, to clinch home field in the playoffs, and to not be 9-8. Perhaps
Yeah.
most importantly,
Yeah. I will expand on what Luke said about this being an Aaron Rodgers led team as opposed to a Mike Tomlin team. I really got that feeling whenever we really took care of business against Miami, who won four straight, who was not the best team, but at home in prime time, they had the feeling of kind of being a trap game.
yeah.
Um, but we just took care of business, which was huge. And we won the games we needed to, except for like one against Cincinnati. Um, but the games we're supposed to win, we have. So hopefully that continues this week.
This feels like that like rookie year Kenny Pickett team where by some grace of God and a little bit of mischief and silliness, the Steelers they you check the box score at the end and they won.
Mhm.
You're not really sure how, but you check the box score at the end and the Steelers won. So
I
that just kind of
feel
feels like
I
I
feel it's
this. I mean,
sorry.
this team is a notch above that. It's just like that Ravens game,
Mhm.
that Dolphins game, some of the other the Patriots game. Like
Mhm.
they're just winning games like when
Yeah.
they need to, and
Mhm.
they're gonna lose a couple, and they're gonna it's Steelers, so they're gonna have a couple really bad losses, get really pessimistic. But Aaron Rodgers in this team, they're just doing their jobs,
Mhm.
and I think that's really important. And there have been some really nice surprises like Kenneth Gainwell
Yeah.
and like Pro Bowler Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if he's actually been that great, but Pro Bowler, I think you got to be sort of happy with how things have turned out with the O line last week. And like you said, I think some people expected Aaron Rodgers to be even better, but a lot of people expected him to be awful and a cancer and to sink the team.
And
So
he's been nothing but a
this
leader.
is anything but that, and it's been fun to watch. So they have to show up to play, and they have to, keep their head in the turf when he breaks the sack record and the crowd goes wild, I guess.
Hey
But
man, if he breaks the sack record but we win the division,
take it, yeah.
it's all good.
So my
Adam,
two
did you
cents.
pick?
Yeah, I said Steelers.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
All right.
Mm.
On to another divisional battle. We have the Jaguars and the Colts here, which I assume will be Philip Rivers again, because they really have no other better option at this point. Jacksonville has just looked fantastic, though. Trevor Lawrence is balling out. Liam Cohen's a fantastic coach. Jacoby Myers is doing his thing. Just got extended too. Give me Jacksonville to sweep the Indianapolis Colts this year. A line that I may have not thought I would say before the season. The Colts started out really hot, but it's all going to come crashing down. They're going to be at 500, 8-8 going into the final week of the year, whereas the Jaguars will be, my gosh, 12-4 going into week 18 and in prime position to clinch the AFC South. But yeah, I'll take the Jaguars here.
Yeah, Jags for sure. They're balling out. Liam Cohen, sleeper for not even really sleeper. Should be honestly a favorite for coach of the year. Um, up there with Vrabel and a couple other guys. But yeah, Jags are playing great ball right now. I'll go with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaguars, good football team. So Colts can't get out of their own way.
Mhm. Hey,
Pretty
shout out
easily.
to Alec Pierce for giving me a full heart attack last night. Had 20 points. I had a 99% chance to win my fantasy game, and he put up 20 points and almost beat me. So, Alec Pierce, uh, yeah, I want to have a word with you. But anyway,
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I want to
Uh,
shake your hand. I want to shake your hand.
all right. Saints and Titans here. Battle of South opponents, of course, NFC and AFC. Both teams coming off a win. I, of course, expected both, I guess. I got to give it to the Saints. I normally don't do this, but they're playing some good football. Tyler Shuck looks good. Kellen Moore's doing a nice job. Chris Olave balling out, which I love to see, of course. Still don't understand how they beat my Panthers twice, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. We'll get into that right after this. But I will start by saying New Orleans wins this game. Tennessee winning last week was nice, but genuinely, I think at this point, the Saints might be tougher competition than the Chiefs. So I'll take New Orleans to win this one and hopefully screw up their draft pick a little bit more because the Saints winning 6 games in a year I thought they'd win two is fine with me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with the Saints too. Not really much to say here.
Yeah, me too. I think that the Titans might have a little bit of misplaced confidence after beating the Chiefs, but I think the Saints should have more confidence, and they probably do have. They've been playing some really good football. So give me them.
All right.
Go
Boy,
ahead,
oh
Adam.
boy, where do I begin? I will tell my grandchildren about this team one day. The 2025 Carolina Panthers. I will be writing a love letter. Wow. Yeah, my preseason prediction was 7-10, and they outshined that in week 16. Gotta give them props. We are 8-7 right now. We are in prime position to clinch the NFC South title. There is a very small but very possible chance that it happens at home, which would be even more sweet. But I guess we'll take you back a couple weeks because it's been a while since we talked Panthers on this podcast. I believe around the last time we recorded, we were on a bye week right after defeating the LA Rams. And had we recorded the week we played the Saints, I would have said 2 words, trap game, and boy, I was right. Yeah, I was still stunned that we were able to lose to that team twice. I watched that entire game. I wanted to punch a wall at the end of it, but yeah, I think that's what that team needed to get fired up for the next week, which was much more important. But I will say this team always likes to make things complicated, but they've gotten the job done this year. And then, of course, the following week, couldn't watch because I was traveling home from Gettysburg, but was able to listen. Actually, you know what? I lied. I did watch a little bit. Right before we left, I turned it on my phone, but I listened to the rest. I listened to the amazing call from Carolina Panthers play-by-play broadcaster. I don't know his name, but he does a great job calling Lathan Ransom, Ohio State legends, beautiful interception against Baker Mayfield. Um, Misread throw. Yeah, it was great. I was going crazy in the car, and like I said, we're 8-7, leading the division currently in placement to host a wild card game. And go figure, right now, if the season ended, it would be against Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. That would be pretty sweet to watch. Bittersweet at that. But now we got a tough task on our hands. Our final NFC West game of the year comes week 17 when the Panthers welcome old friend Sam Darnold to town with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this game's interesting. Seattle's coming off a very nice win against the Rams on Thursday night. Nice comeback win. Darnold looked good. JSN looked good. Nice pass to Eric Saubert to win the game. Panthers, of course, coming off a big win of their own, where the defense clutched up in the end, something we're not used to seeing. But yeah, now that sets up a very interesting predicament. If the Panthers win this game, like I said, they need help from the Miami Dolphins, but there is a chance that they could clinch the division at home. And go figure that the Panthers in past weeks this year, in week 9, the Panthers played the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay was currently slotted in as the number 1 seed in the NFC. And what happened? Carolina won the game. In week 13, the Panthers hosted the LA Rams. LA was slotted in as the number 1 team in the NFC. And what happened? The Panthers won that game. Third time's the charm. I think we're going to do it again. Upset of the week. Give me the Panthers. Now, here's the thing. The last two times that happened, I did not pick us, so I'm putting a lot of faith in us this time. I have a friend going to the game who, by the way, is undefeated in Panthers games he's attended, so that's a good luck charm on our side. But yeah, whether it's that I don't have a good upset pick this week or I think this can happen because it's happened before, there's been a lot of wacky stuff going on this season. Um, Go figure, it would be funny to tell my kids that we won the division after beating three number one seeds at the time, but couldn't even beat the New Orleans Saints. But here we are. Yeah, call me crazy, but I think we get it done and officially clinch a winning season at home. And I don't blame either of you if you pick Seattle. Trust me, I considered it myself, but I'm going to go for broke here and believe in my guys. So keep pounding. This has been fun nonetheless. And my final thought, if we clinch a playoff spot, and I will say this 100 more times, I personally do not care what happens in the game. Losing like 45 to nothing would suck. I don't want that, of course, but it's all about getting there. It's all about being able to watch a Panthers game at home in the playoffs. So, yeah, I will leave it at that. I have talked way too long. I will let you guys make your picks now, but yeah, keep pounding. This has been a lot of fun, and hopefully it continues.
I love the Carolina Panthers. I love T-Mac. I love um I love Rico Dowdle. I love this defense. I love Bryce Young, but I have to go with Seattle. Um, JSN and that Seahawks team. What a win against the Rams. That was unbelievable. To take control of the NFC West, that was super impressive to me. I'm going to be rooting my ass off for the Panthers in this game, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, and the worst part is I can actually sort of see it because it's happened so many times this year
Yeah.
with the Rams and the Packers. Even that win against the Bucks is just so huge. But I no, I don't think so. They're just the Seahawks are so good,
Hmm.
and so are the Rams. The Packers, that was a weird one. They were in a bit of a skid, but the Seahawks are so good, and it's not like they're rolling like nobody can touch them. Good. It's like they're winning some tough ball games, and it would take a lot, and I don't see it, but that does not spell death for the Panthers. They just beat the Bucks. They can do it again. I just don't see it this week.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We could still win the division by beating the Bucks again in Week 18, but
Which I think, regardless what happens in this game, I think Carolina's going to beat the Bucks.
I hope so, man.
I kind of think so too.
Gonna be tough. Maybe the NFL throws us on the final Sunday night game of the year. That would be pretty sweet. Do it in the spotlight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Final 1 p.m. game. We have Arizona and Cincinnati, two teams eliminated for the year, but the Bengals looked really good last week. Joe Burrow looks like he's having a little bit of fun again. The Cardinals, you play a game of roulette each week. Which wide receiver is going to lead the team in receiving yards? Um, Let me find the name of who it was last week because I guarantee none of you have heard of this guy before. It was a little bit surprising. When I watched Wyatt's World's NFL therapy video today, it was Elijah Higgins. Anyone ever heard of him? Yeah, he led the Cardinals in receiving last week.
Okay.
Yeah. Arizona is a bit crazy. I think they should do themselves a favor and fire Gannon at the end of the year. I don't get the appeal of keeping him around. They have a lot to figure out. Of course, Kyler Murray might be done there too. Regardless, this game I'm taking Cincinnati. They're at home. They look good last week, and they should be able to win this one. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Cincinnati also. We'll see if Kyler is able to see over his offensive line this week. But yeah, I'll go with Cincy.
I don't think Kyler's playing. I think he's
Oh,
done.
not Kyler. Shows how irrelevant the Cardinals are in my mind. Sorry, Jacoby Brissett. My
It's
fault.
okay.
He'll
You're all
definitely be able
good,
to see
man.
over the O-line.
For your knowledge, Jacoby Brissett is like 6'5", so I don't anticipate him having any issues there.
Yeah, probably
But
right.
You're all
um,
good.
leave it up to the Bengals at the end of the year when they're already eliminated to play like just a Pro Bowl team. So yeah, give me Cincy. They do this every year.
Yep.
Meaning Zach Taylor will stick around, and they'll pay another useless guy, and that'd be great.
All right, guys. Who's ready for game of the week?
Are the Raiders still in it?
I don't know. Yeah. Um, they
No.
have a running back who might be on the worst team if you know the song, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this game, I will give it credit, is interesting for one reason. This game will probably decide who gets the number one pick in the draft. It is the Giants, it is the Raiders. They are both 2-13. They both stink. This is the tank bowl of all tank bowls. Who is going, in fact, do you guys want to have fun here? And instead of predicting who wins, predict who we think loses the game?
Sure.
Okay. Um, well, I'll start. I have the Giants losing this one. For some reason, I feel like it's the Raider way that they will just make things hard on themselves and win this game and then have to trade for number one because I find it hard to believe that the Giants actually select a quarterback with how fine Jackson Dart has been this year. He's had his ups and downs, but he's shown them enough to stick with that plan. But yeah, I have the Giants losing this one, so we'll just leave it at that.
I also have the Giants losing this game. Jackson Dart stat line versus the Vikings: 7 for 13, 33 yards, one interception, and five sacks.
Yeah,
I'll go with the Raiders.
Luke.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree here. Let's not forget, Adam East said it's such a Raider thing to lose themselves the number one pick. Who did the Patriots lose to in order for the rights to draft Drake May? But those New York Football Giants. I, these two teams stink. But I think who has the most at stake in this game? It's Jackson Dart, who you just read the stats, but that was one terrible game in a rookie season that has looked good uh, as a total. But if he plays another game like that, he's on his way out the door, and that would be just insane after a couple of the performances he put on earlier in the year. Um, Firing Brian Dable did nothing. I'm not saying that wasn't the time to do that, and in fact, that Pete Carroll should probably have already been on his way out. It probably shouldn't have lasted a season. What a disaster! But despite the fact that they almost knocked off Houston, I'm not going to buy into that false hope. And despite the fact that Jackson Dart played the worst game of played in his whole professional career, that means it can only get better. And I just think that the Giants are probably better equipped to win a game like this. Despite the fact that I picked them to be 1-16 this year, which started off crazy, it still was crazy. And then they won. They were like 2-4, and then we're like, holy cow, that's a bad pick. Now they're 2-13, and so 1-16 doesn't seem that ridiculous. But they'll get their third win. I think they'll beat the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And the better 4 o'clock game. Philadelphia at Buffalo. This is the one I'll actually be watching during the 4 p.m. slate,
This is
as
still
well.
Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we only had two 4 p.m. games this week.
Brother, this is a long episode.
I know.
Hey, only 2 games left after this. We're almost done.
All right.
Yeah, I did see the Giant, or not the Giants, my goodness. The Bills are wearing their red uniforms this week. I
Oh,
personally like the red uniforms. I think they're pretty sick. Gonna make me drop the my eyes SpongeBob meme while I look at my TV, but um yeah, you know what? I'll go with Buffalo. They have been playing good football lately, and the Eagles have been up and down. Beat the Commanders, but have been shaky against real competition. So yeah, I expect this to be another one of those games where Jalen Hurts looks rough and Eagles fans defend the crap out of him all over social media, and I expect this to be a Josh Allen masterclass. So yeah, give me Buffalo.
Yeah, it seems like both of these teams are like not as good as we thought they were going to be going into the year.
Right.
Um, if this was last year, this would be probably this is probably still his game of the week, but um, I'll go with the Bills.
fly Eagles fly. I am going Philly here. I feel like I have the script in my hand. I feel like the Eagles are going to get a hot start with a couple Josh Allen turnovers, and then Josh Allen is going to destroy them for the next quarter and a half, and then it's going to be a late game. Eagles go out on top, and then Josh Allen. I just don't think they can have a last drive in them. I think this is one of those games where we just see the big bad Bills, and we think that they're blue collar and they play in a snowy city. Like the Phillies aren't like Philly isn't really the same thing. And I think that the impression of how good this defense should be is so far worn off. And I think this is one of those games where the Eagles can just play to their strengths enough to take advantage of an overrated head coach and a vastly overrated defense. And I think the Bills lose. Uh, I like Philly here. I could be wrong. But the Philly has been playing some decent football lately after a really rough stretch in which It was so bad in parts that some people just turned off the TV and they've given up on the Eagles this season. I wouldn't have done that quite yet because they've been playing some decent football as of late. And I know the Bills are on a bit of a hot streak. They got their confidence, they got their swagger back after beating the Patriots. But it's perfect time for them to remind the world just how mid that defense is, and that despite the decent record they're going to put together and the playoff game in round one that they might win, they're not going to go anywhere this year because they never can go anywhere because they're the Bills. And the Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champs, so no matter how they look, they have it in them. And I like them this week. Give me the Eagles.
Okay. All right, on to Sunday night football. The Bears and the Niners. This is going to be a fun one. Niners could clinch the 1 seed in the NFC. I saw reports today that they control their own destiny. If they win out, they clinch the number 1 seed. And I saw Adam Schefter saying they have the chance to play the next 5 games on their schedule at home because if they make the Super Bowl, guess where it is this year? Levi's Stadium. So yeah, that's an interesting storyline. Do I think it happens? I'm not sure, but I think they help their cause a little bit this week and win this game. Listen, I love the Bears, but yeah, I don't know. Last week they very impressive comeback. I will give them that. That was awesome to watch. But still, it's just the playing in tough environments thing for me. They lost to the Packers in Lambeau, and San Francisco is a very tough environment. And I think the Niners might be a little more ready for a game like this. And Brock Purdy coming off a great game, and I think he might continue that hot streak a little bit here. Now, don't get me wrong, I expect Chicago to make this close and interesting. I expect Caleb Williams to ball out, DJ Moore to build off of last week, but I think in the end, whether it's by 3, by 6, by 7, I think San Fran's going to win.
Bear down. Upset of the week. Give me the Bears. Um,
Okay. Boom.
remember in our prediction week, I had the Bears in second place, going 11-6, and you guys looked at me like I was crazy. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Nothing as
I
well.
think the Bears will finish better than 11-6 because they are 11-4 right now. I believe, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Bears a lot. They have momentum. George Kittle could be out this game, tweaked his ankle last night against the Colts. We shall see. I bet he'll probably play in this game. Didn't seem too major. Um, but I like the Bears, man. I think they find a way. So give me them.
Luke?
Hot take. I could not disagree more. I think the 49ers bulldoze them. I don't think it's
Crazy.
close.
That's crazy.
I think it's like Monday night all over again. I think the 49ers are, it doesn't seem like they should do it because Brandon Ayuk is in another country right now and Deebo Samuel is off the team and Christian McCaffrey stay productive. Is Brock Purdy really that guy?
No.
Who's the wide receiver too? I know how you feel. Um, the defense is banged up. They are so good. They are such a good football team. And the Bears are a very good football team, but the way they won last week, I think this is a classic, slap in the face, and then they get right going into their first playoffs in 5 years. I I am all over San Francisco this week. I don't think it's close.
Oh,
I said I prefaced it with hot take for a reason
mhm.
because it's logically not sound, but it's just a gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling.
I feel like San Fran is the sneakiest potential number 1 seed I've ever seen.
And don't get me wrong, I think that yeah, in classic San Fran fashion, I think that they like just go on this insane run, including what has been and what is right now. I think they're being underestimated. I think they're playing excellent football. Then they're probably gonna like lose at home in round two to like the Bucks. Sorry, Adam, but to
The
like
Bucks.
someone. I don't know, like a game that they should not lose is my point. But I think all of that includes them. I really do have a feeling that this one might be a lot like it was Monday night.
I'm excited. It should be a good one. I'm
It should
stoked.
be the one.
All right, we wrap it out with Monday Night Football. We have the Rams heading down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Um,
Okay. Can I go first unless you were gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, yeah, actually, you know what? I'll give my analysis when I go. So go ahead.
Yeah. So let's not forget a giant wrinkle in this game. Both teams have to be aware of.
Yeah,
The Rams have the Falcons pick. So the Rams are going to be more motivated than ever to win this random Week 17 football game on the road. This might also be a murder scene because the Rams are. I don't care how much they have to pay the refs to get extra time on the clock. They are not leaving this building without a win. They're just not going to let it
Wait,
happen.
Luke, explain to me what's happening.
So the Rams, for some reason known only to Adam and God, have the Falcons pick. So the worse it gets, the Rams earlier in the year when the Falcons were terrible, the Rams controlled like pick number three. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, they're going to get Fernando Mendoza and they're going to have their savior for the next 20 years after Stafford hangs it up. Now that pick is like eight. And so the more the Falcons lose, the better the Rams
Oh,
pick.
I
The
see.
more the Falcons lose, the better the Rams pick gets.
Mhm.
So what do the Rams want the Falcons to do? Lose. And they will not leave Atlanta without a win. Trust me. I
Understood.
don't know how it's going to look. That no football logic involved there. I mean, you look at the two teams, you don't need a ton of explanation. The Rams are the much better football team. Um, I think the only wild card here is how does Kirk Cousins play? But 100% every single day of the week, give me LA here.
I'll go next only to build off what Luke said. For reference of how that went, Dante, NFL draft night of 2025, the Rams pick at number 26 was coming up. Atlanta said, I want James Pierce Jr. I want your pick. Atlanta, for some reason, said, you can take my first round pick next year for your pick right now. James Pierce Jr. is not a bad player. I just looked it up. He has eight and a half sacks on the year. Not bad
Pretty
for a
good.
rookie, honestly. But
Pretty good.
your first round pick, I don't know. Yeah, like Luke said, I'm gonna take the Rams here. Not just for the reason of that, but for the reason of they are mad after that Thursday night game. They need to get a win to keep their one seed hopes alive. They are number 6 in the NFC right now, so they really need a victory. And the Falcons been playing respectable football, but I just see this being the week where everyone's like, "Yeah, Kirk Cousins is back," and the wheels just fall off on Monday night. So, yeah, I will take LA for sure here.
Yeah, not much to say here. Give me LA. Yeah, and they're going to have a even better first round pick, which is kind of insane that LA is going to have a top 10 pick in next year's draft. Um, because they're such a good team. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take the Rams here. And also, Adam, my lock of the week, Pats over Jets.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll triple down on that. What would my upset have been?
I mean, you picked Philly over the Bills, and the Bills
Yeah,
are
you know what?
favored.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Go for it. Okay.
All right.
Guys,
Dante, I'm not sure if the slideshow ends here.
It does.
But before we depart, Merry Christmas, gentlemen.
Yes,
Merry
Merry
yeah,
Christmas,
Christmas.
Merry
listeners.
Christmas, fam.
And let's all comment on real quick, because this will be done and over with next time we talk. Don't be too quick to answer with your heart here, but Penn State or Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl? What are we thinking? I can start because I do think that Penn State will win. I genuinely do think Terry's last game as head coach, whoever is left is playing for that man like crazy. And Matt Campbell, I think this is what they need. I think Clemson on the other side, everybody's so darn tired of Dabo Sweeney. Everybody is just so because we had expectations and then they just got stepped on immediately and we lost six in a row and now it's kind of been building back up. I think Clemson is still just, you know, crossing their arms and huffing and puffing and upset about this year. And I think that we have the momentum and the less travel distance and outdoors. It'll just be it just is a better game for us. So that's what I would say.
Is Cade Klubnik playing?
As far as I know,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll take Penn State. Why not?
I will say, yeah, before I go, by the way, um, this will be fun. Preseason national championship, if you will. Penn State started the season ranked number 2. Clemson started the season ranked number 4. So, yeah, that'll be fun, I guess. I will say Penn State wins 27-18. My bold prediction: they're up 20-18 with a couple minutes left. Defense gets a big stop, and then someone gets a big touchdown and buries the hopes of Clemson winning.
Dude, this is the
So,
last game of Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. I'm sad.
I don't think
yeah,
they're play. Are they playing?
I
Maybe
don't know
not.
if they even are.
They're probably not actually. Yeah,
But yeah, no matter what, we are. So
Penn State. Yeah.
yeah. It'll be fun. I'm excited to see it. Yankee Stadium should be a fun environment for this game. So, and hey,
Yeah,
last time Penn State played in the Pinstripe Bowl, they won. They beat Boston College, I believe, during James Franklin's first year. So,
nice. There we go.
yeah. All right. Well, that officially does it here on episode 16 of season 4 for the Weekly Gridiron podcast. As always, we are your host, Adam,
Dante.
And like,
wishing you all a very Merry Christmas, a very happy holidays, and a very happy start to your 2026. We will be talking to you sooner, though, most likely. But yeah, Merry Christmas, WG Nation, and thanks for all the support.